So like I always say, make sure that you have a bottle of water handy so you can stay hydrated. And if you would like to use weights today, you can use hand weights. If you don't have hand weights but you have a bottle of water, or you have canned goods, anything that can add another 1 to 2 pounds is still beneficial. So I'm facing to the side right now because I want to do something different and start with some work for your posture. So we're going to do some postural stretches and exercises to kind of help with that. Everyone can use that. So what I want you to do is sit towards the end of your chair. Make sure you still feel sturdy, not like you're going to slip off or anything. And I want you to make sure your feet, your knees are in line with your hips. Your knees are right over your heels. So we've got legs hip width apart. And then I want you to have your spine having that natural curve. So you're sitting up straight. So in order to sit up straight, if you just look straight ahead and just roll the shoulders down and back. And your chin should be level with the floor. So that is your good starting posture while you're sitting. So just to start, we'll start with some stretches in your neck. So I want you to lift your chin up and down. Now if you look, I'm moving just my head. I'm not moving my torso at all. So I'm still keeping good posture. Okay, good. And then I want you to look right and left, still trying to keep your torso straight. So just turning the head, not moving your torso. Okay, looking straight ahead again. I just want you to drop your ear to shoulder. Try not to lift your shoulder up. Try to keep the shoulders where they are. Now we've loosened up the neck a little bit. So to focus on some of your postural stretches, I want to start on shoulder rolls. So you might have already started to round a little bit, so let's roll the shoulders back. Going in that reverse direction. You can hear my microphone a little bit rustling on my shirt here. Now, if you want bigger circles, you can add the arms in, still going back. When you think of your posture, you want to think of anything that causes you to kind of pull those shoulders back. So we want to go in that reverse direction. Because if you have poor posture, you tend to lean forward. So keep going in that reverse direction, big circles. Now if this bothers your shoulders, then you can go back to just the rolls. That should give you a little bit less pain in your shoulder. Okay? Always keeping your chin level with the floor. Okay, good. So let's do a little exercise for your neck. So it's called a chin tuck. So like I said, keeping the chin level with the floor means you're keeping that chin up and back. We don't want to be leaning forward. So sit up nice and straight. You're going to pull your chin in this direction and kind of tuck it in. It's going to feel a little bit unnatural. It's going to feel a little bit weird. But if you kind of do what I like to call, some people joke, we say chicken neck or turkey neck, or that double chin, you're going to pull that chin in. You can see that if I stick it out and then pull it back in this horizontal direction, that kind of helps you reverse that forward head tilt that you might have. So pulling that head back. 2 more. All right, good. Loosen it up a little bit, shake it out in case you have any tension. All right, we're gonna bring the arms straight out. Again, try not to hunch forward, try to keep those shoulders back. And anytime we're doing any of these postural exercises, You want to make sure that you're not shrugging the shoulders either. So even though you're pulling things in this direction and you're moving the shoulders back, make sure you're not shrugging up as you're doing that. So readjust, move the arms straight out, and then you're going to move them as wide as you can. So you're pulling your shoulder blades together like you're squeezing something between the shoulder blades, but we're not shrugging up. Good. Still taking deep breaths. So we are still doing a warm-up, but I'm just spending a little bit of extra time on the posture today. One more. Good. Give those arms a little bit of a break, and we're going to work on pulling the shoulder blades back again. So that's called retraction. So protraction this way, retraction is going back. So again, if you tend to hunch a little bit, we're going to sit up straight and pull the shoulder blades back. So avoiding shrugging, the best way you can do this is picture the elbows. So let the elbows move straight back and forward again. We don't want to overly pull so we're not shrugging and pinching. Take those deep breaths. All right, great job. Take a little break. So this time I want you to reach the arms straight up, and you're going to reach them as straight as you can reach them. If it hurts your shoulder, then don't force it. But what I'd like to try to do is move them behind my ears almost. And then I like to reach down and back this way. So you're creating a good range of motion in your shoulders. One more. Now you can work around the arm rails. I have arm rails on this chair, so you can work around those, and you can still reach. Okay, good. Looking straight ahead. I want you to just add in a little twist if you can. If you're someone whose spine can't twist, then don't do this one. And I want you to start to look over your shoulder as you do that. Good. One more each side. So I'm going to move on from some of the posture stretches, and we're going to keep doing our warm-up here. Okay. So let's get into the middle back a little bit. So I'm going to let you round the back. So this is usually what we avoid when it comes to posture, but it still can stretch out the muscles pretty well. And then sit up straight, round the back. Sit up straight. I usually like to inhale as I sit up straight and then exhale as I come forward. Good job. One more. Okay, good. Let's get into the low back a little more. So anytime you want to really stretch the low back, it kind of includes the hips. So I always suggest making the legs a little bit of a wider stance, and that way you can get a little bit deeper into a stretch and you feel more of that stretch in your low back. So keep the back straight and then bend in your hips. So my spine is straight, my head is in line with my spine, but I'm bending at the hip here to fold myself in half. And back up. So I like to lean back a little bit. A lot of people, they don't realize getting that little arch in the back actually helps with some back pain. Come down and back up. See if you can go a little further each time. Nice big stretches. All right, good job. Sitting up, nice and tall. Okay. Let's do a little bit of a twist here. So I want you to move your torso only in a circle. So keeping the legs pretty steady, you're gonna lean the whole upper body around in a circle, leaning it back and around. So we're gonna get 5 in this direction, and then when you're ready, we're gonna switch directions and do another 5. So I'm on 3, 4, and 5, and then switch that direction. Should feel really good in the low back, loosening up the hips. Even if you've had a hip replacement, most of these should be pretty safe. You just have to be careful with how far forward you bend. Last one. Good job. So if you're at the edge of your seat, let's add in a nice full body stretch. So you want your head and your shoulders to rest against the back of your chair. I like to kind of push the hips forward. Take a deep breath, reach, make yourself as tall as you can, and come forward. Okay, good. So let's get into the hips a little more and the glutes. Sometimes it's tough to get certain muscle groups when you're sitting. So hug one knee. You can either hug here, or if you're more flexible, try to get it higher. And also, again, go back to that posture. Sit up nice and straight. I don't want you to hunch into the stretch, so try to drop those shoulders down and back, hugging it. And then I want you to help the knee come up and down as high as you can go. And then let's warm up in the hip a little more, and I want you to keep that same hand on that knee and guide it in a circle. Good job. And then we're gonna just warm up in the knee itself. So swinging in and out. Good. Give that leg a break, shake it out. Other leg, hugging that as best you can. Again, remember, we're not gonna hunch into it, so try to roll those shoulders down and back. Take a deep breath. Holding that knee. See if you can hug it a little higher, good stretch. And then help it come up and down as high as you can go. Get it moving in that hip joint. Nice job. And then I want you to warm up in the knee itself. Oh, I did things a little out of order. We're going to do that hip circle as well. Okay, so keep that same hand on there, guide it in a big circle. As big a circle as you can make it. Don't force it if it hurts your hip. One more. Good, shake that one out. I like to do a little fanning in the hips here. So as always, I like to make it a point to remember that if anything bothers you, or if you feel short of breath, make sure you stop exercising. Don't do anything that does not feel good. And then let's do windshield wipers in the knees. Side to side. I know I'm always talking about posture, but you might see me looking down to make sure you can hear me in the microphone. All right. Good, let's stretch both legs out. Reach down about halfway. When you're ready to inhale again, come all the way up, reach those hands up. Exhale, reach down again, maybe a little further this time. When you're ready to inhale, come back up. So we're easing into the muscles a little bit. Little further each time. When you're ready, reach as far as you can. Big exhale. Inhale, come up slowly, roll those shoulders back. Great job. Okay, sit up nice and tall. Let's get into the ankles a little bit. So I want you to alternate, lifting one heel and the other. You got it, and then alternate in the toes, one and the other. And then I want you to move the toes side to side. Try to kind of go up and over with the toes, pivoting on the heels a little bit. You got it. And then up and over on the heels, pivoting on those toes. Great job. Now sometimes we tend to forget about the feet themselves, so I want you to try to wiggle your toes around, kind of scrunch them a little bit inside your shoes if you're wearing shoes. Wiggle them around, move them around, get any stiffness out of the feet. Now same thing is going to go for the hands. You're going to want to circle the wrists. Let's loosen up the wrists and the hands so we're ready to grip our weights if you have weights. Switch directions. You'd be surprised how stiff some of these joints might feel. And then let's go up and down in the wrists. You got it. And then let's do a claw stretch. So that means just the fingertips. If you can, depending on how stiff your hands are, or if you have arthritis, you just try your best. Don't force it if it's causing more pain. Now, a full fist in the hands. Nice job. Shaking it out. Want to get the blood flowing a little more, so get the legs moving. Shake out the arms a little more. Get that heart rate back up. And then you can take your first water break if you'd like a water break. Okay, let's work on our strength now. So like I said, if you have hand weights, or if you have anything you'd like to use in place of hand weights, definitely get creative. I've seen some people fill empty bottles with rice or pebbles or sand or water. So whatever you can make use of. I've seen people fill socks with rice and things like that, and they can use weights. So whatever you can do to get creative. So I like to start with a circuit, and I like to do 4 exercises. So 2 upper body, 2 lower body. We do all 4 exercises, and then we go back through again. So that's a circuit. Those of you who are used to this class, you've heard this a million times. All right, so let's start with our legs. This one's a very good functional exercise. It helps you getting in and out of a chair or out of a car. We're going to work the hips. So I want you to start with one leg. You're going to go all the way up and out to the side, and then up and back in again. So try to keep up that form. If you start to struggle lifting it up and out, then you can take a break. But I want you to try to lift it up as high as you can and out as far as you can. So this is already 6. See if we can get to 10. If you need to stop before 10, that's okay. Good job. Okay, one more. All right. And take a deep breath, readjust your posture if you have to. Other leg. Now naturally you might have to lean back a little bit as you lift that leg out to the side. That kind of helps you bring the leg up a little higher. Good job, we're halfway through. And you're gonna have to make use of your abdominal muscles. Those muscles in your belly help keep you stable. All right, one more. And back in. Good job. Let's do our upper body. So I want to do one at a time. I'm going to change it up a little bit. So I want you to try to keep one arm up, and the other arm is going to come up and down. 10 times if you can. So this is just a little bit of a different version of an exercise we've done in the past. If your arm gets tired, then just bring it back down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep that one up there. This one's coming up and down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. Take a deep breath. Give those arms a break. All right, I want to work the legs a little more. So let's start with just one leg for now. You're going to try to keep the leg up the whole time, and you're going to swing in and out 10 times if you can. 4, 5, I'm hovering that foot, I'm not putting it back down. 8, 9, 10. Good job. Deep breath. You might notice that I leaned back a little bit. I used these muscles. So ready, other leg. Keep that knee up the whole time and go in and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Take a deep breath. We've got one more exercise in this circuit. So we're going to do another upper body. So let's do a classic bicep curl. If you only have one weight and you need to alternate, that's fine. But we're going to try to do both at the same time, looking straight ahead. So good posture, elbows in at your sides, curling it up. Don't swing it back down. You want nice control as you come back down. 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we finished our first circuit. So take a deep breath, take a sip of water. If you need a quick bathroom break, it's great that you're tuning in and you're doing this. I know it's not the most ideal, but any kind of exercise right now will keep that immune system up. I like to test you a little bit, so see if you can remember what our first exercise was. The first one with the dumbbells. So if you guessed the hip exercise where we're stepping out, then you guessed correctly. So I'm going to start with the other leg this time. If you can remember which one you started with, try to do the opposite leg. I'm going to go all the way up and out and then back in again 10 times if you can. If you need to stop before 10, that's okay. You got this. 3, 4, up and out, up and out. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, I know I'm feeling that one, so I know that's a tiring one. All right, other leg, up and out. If you alternated, that's okay. You can just continue alternating. Otherwise, stick with the same leg. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Always remember, you're taking deep breaths the whole time. You're moving with the pace of your breathing. I reminded you last week that if you actually count along with me, that kind of forces you to take deep breaths. It forces you to breathe. Whereas if you're staying silent, you might not be taking breaths. You might be holding your breath while you're exercising. See if you can remember what came next. It was a little bit of a new one. So it was for the upper body. We did a press overhead, but I changed it up a little bit and I had you hold the dumbbell up the whole time while we pressed. If you can do it. Don't force it if it hurts. So I'm going to start with the other arm this time. I'm keeping one up the whole time and just moving the other arm. This is kind of challenging your brain a little too, since it's a different version of what we normally do. Trying to get 10 if you can. Don't force it if it hurts. 2 more. Last one. Okay? Take a deep breath. Switching arms. Ready, and up and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Take a deep breath, going back to the legs. We were kicking straight out, so I was hovering my leg, trying to keep it up the whole time and swinging in and out. So try to keep it up off the ground the whole time. I'm going to start with the other leg this time. So 10 times, swing it in and out. Try not to touch the ground. Really challenge those muscles. Halfway through already. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. Deep breath. Give yourself a break. When you're ready for the other leg, I'm going to count backwards this time. I like to switch it up for your brain a little bit. So 10, 9, 8, 7. I know you're feeling that burn in your thigh a little bit. 4, 3, 2, 1. You got it. Take a break. We got one more for the upper body before we move on. Deep breaths. All right. So elbows in at your sides. Readjust your posture so you're sitting straight. Make sure we keep those elbows pinned at your sides the whole time. So we're going to come up just to the shoulders. Bring it down slowly. Don't swing it. Deep breaths. 2, 3. This one's a little easier for most people, so let's see if we can get some bonus. See if you can get 12 or 15 reps this time. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Get some bonus. Good. I'm going to 15, 14, and 15. You got it. Good. All right, so you can put your weights down or just keep one of them if you want something challenging for your abdominals. I'm going to just show you from the side again so we can watch the proper posture. Take your water break if you want a sip of water, catch your breath. I'm always drinking my water when exercising. That usually prompts you to take in more water and stay hydrated. All right. So I'm going to do our reverse lean back here. So it's almost like a modified sit-up. So I'm starting at the edge of my chair. I want to leave some space between the back of the chair and my back. And we're moving in the hips, so we're going in this direction, okay? So you want to keep the spine straight. So my spine is straight as I'm leaning back, and I'm only bending here. I'm not bending in the spine at all. So I'm going to add a little extra weight. I'm going to hold it up at my chest, and then I like to do a slight bend in the knee to make it tougher. So the whole idea is you're using these muscles right here in your belly. Ready? And 10 times. Sit up straight. So squeeze the belly, lean back, sit up straight. You can see I'm keeping good posture. My chin is still staying up. The top of my head is in line with my spine. We're halfway through. Great job. 3, 2, 1. I know I can't see you, but I like to say great job because you're keeping up. All right, I like to do a twisting one. I call this one row the boat. So take your breath here. So do a slight bend in the knees again. We don't want them all the way out because when you lean back, they're going to come up. So just a slight bend. And then you're going to stay leaned back just a little bit. Okay? We're going to do our row the boat. So twist in your torso. Don't move just your hands. Now, if you're unable to twist because of your spine having issues, then don't twist. Just do leaning front and back again. You got it. Halfway through, trying to get 10 each side. That's 8, 9, 10. Good. Let's put these weights down. I want to do one more. So what you're going to do is a modified crunch. So you're going to march. So we're alternating the knees slowly. And as you march, you're going to come forward. So you're going to crunch forward, sit all the way up again. That's the key. And then crunch to the other knee. Make sure you sit all the way up again. I don't want you to stay hunched over. Okay? Good. That's 3. Try 10 each leg if you can. 4. You'll see that I'm leaning back a little bit as I sit up to really challenge my abdominal muscles. Good. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, take your little break. I would like to do just some very simple balancing exercises, so we'll stand up for that. But before we do that, I want to do some seated stretches. So that way you don't have to keep going up and down. Okay, so let's start with one leg out, nice and straight. Point that toe up. So really pull that toe towards you as much as you can and come down about halfway and hold it. So we focus on the calves here. Anytime we stretch, you want to hold at least 15 seconds. You can hold it longer, or you can do 2 rounds of it. Come back up. You can relax the toe a little bit. Reach that arm all the way up. Deep breath in, and now reach as far as you can as you exhale. So now you should be getting a deeper stretch into the back of your thigh. Okay, slowly coming up. Now, if you're able to stretch your hip, I really like having people do this one. If you've had a hip replacement, this one's not going to be for you, so you can just take a break here. But if you're able to do this, I want you to hug your knee, and you're going to cross it. So you can either cross down here, or you're going to cross it all the way up here. So it's called a figure 4 stretch. So as we do that, I want you to adjust your posture. So you're sitting up straight. The idea is to try to get this knee out as far as you can. Again, if you've had a hip replacement, this one's not for you. So my back's nice and straight. I'm going to add a little more of a stretch by folding forward. So by folding, I'm bending here. I'm not slouching at all. And hold it. So my head's still in line with my spine. My spine's still straight. I'm bent at the hips a little bit, getting a good stretch in this hip. Deep breath in, come back up. All right, shake it out, other leg. So stretch that leg, really pull that toe. Try not to relax the toe. Try to pull it towards you. Come down about halfway so you get a good stretch in the calf. Slowly come up, relax the toe a little bit. We're going to focus on the muscles back here. Reach it up, inhale, exhale as far as you can reach. You got it. Sit up slowly. Again, if you can, we're going to try this hip stretch. So if you need to, you can cross it here, but try your best to really lift up, cross over to get that figure 4. One side may be worse than the other. For me, it's this side. My knee doesn't go down as low. But just try your best. Sit up straight. Deep breaths. This may feel like enough of a stretch, but if you want to get a little bit more of a stretch, bend at the hips. Don't start to slouch. Keep good posture. Bend at the hips. Challenge that joint, that hip joint, if you can. Really great stretch for hip flexibility. Slowly come back up, shaking it out. Okay. All right, so I want you to get your back a little bit. So we're going to get a twist if you can, if you're able to twist. I want you to reach across the body and look over that shoulder and hold it. So I'm keeping my legs straight. I'm only moving in the torso. Really good stretch for the muscles in your back. Deep breaths. Okay, other side, same thing. Keep those legs straight. Come back to the center. Reach those arms up, inhale. So for some of you, your shoulders might not be as flexible, but try your best to either reach the palms this way, or if you want to make it harder, touch the backs of the palms. Now see if you can relax the shoulders down a little bit. Reach it back. See if you can grab the hands behind you. If you can't, then just grab your chair. And straighten. Release that stretch. Okay, so if you feel safe enough to stand up and try some easy balancing, that's what we'll do next. Otherwise, you can be finished. So I like to either stand to the side of the chair or behind the chair, or if you have a counter or whatever feels more stable for you. I'm going to stand to the side just so you can see my feet, but for most people, they feel better standing behind the chair. So I want you to start by lifting one heel and then the other. So you're going to be shifting your weight side to side. If this is easy for you, you don't have to hold on then. You can challenge yourself. Now, if you want to make it harder, try both heels up and down. That's up to you though. And I want you to land flat. I don't want you to lean back. If you are someone who's more advanced and you want to try lifting the toes, then you can do heel and toe. However, if you are a little bit wary about your balance, then just lift the heels. And I always tell you, proper posture to help with balance is to keep your feet hip width apart. So you don't want to be standing like this. That's what's going to cause you to lose your balance. You want to stand with your feet hip width apart. So the way to do that is bring the feet together, bring the toes out, and then the heels, and that is as wide as your hips are. Okay, so then you're in a proper stance. This is not just for exercising. This is for, if you're standing in your kitchen cooking or in the bathroom getting ready, you don't want to stand like this. You want to stand wide so you have better balance. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a squat. I like to actually step pretty wide for this. And you can hold onto your chair as you squat and bend in the knees. Keep the heels glued to the ground. Keep your chest up. If you want to make it harder, you go lower, or you can reach the hands out. Last one. Good, take a break. So the last thing I want to do is have you do a side step. So you're going to bring the feet together, step, and then to the other side. Now if you're behind your chair, it's going to look like this, where you're going to be able to keep your hands on your chair. But I want you to be able to see my feet. So as you go side to side, look straight ahead, Keep the toes pointed straight ahead and try not to drag your feet across the floor. Try to lift them all the way up. So these are some simple balancing exercises. Good job. If you feel steady and you want to do one more final stretch while you're standing, we can do a nice big forward fold. Otherwise, you can be finished. I like to take a deep breath in, exhale, fold in the hips, dive it down. And it feels really good in your back and your legs to let your head hang, your arms hang. You can move through the stretch a little by bending one knee and then the other. And you can hang down here as long as you want. Just make sure you don't get dizzy. Bend both knees, slowly roll it up. And you're all finished for the day. Thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you who want a more challenging exercise, we're going to be standing for the next class at 11 a.m. So we'll be standing the whole time doing weights. Tell your friends if they, don't want to tune in for this one and there's someone who wants something challenging, call your friends up, tell them to tune in at 11. Otherwise, thank you for joining. Have a great rest of your day.